Face the wall. Place your hands together like you're saying a prayer.
We should take a picture of that too.
Case number
Or
is
copies.
10108.
Welcome to Fraud Criminals, where we expose calculated schemes and their consequences. A Florida Target employee stole $5,000 from registers until a call tipped off police. Watch as the system dismantles the deception. Subscribe for more unraveled frauds.
If somebody's still out, right?
Oh, okay.
So what do you need from me?
Do you want to
before
go stand with
guys-
him? Oh, well.
Basically, just tell us what happened. Okay, so I received a tip from the Target headquarters investigation that there's been cash stuff here at the store about 30 days ago. So starting June 20th, the team member took money out of the drawer. This is him here. I can actually, since I already have it up, I can just show you the video. Took it out of the register. Yeah, he removed it from the register and put it in his pocket. Okay. He already admitted to all the theft. We have him for about $800, but he admitted to close to $5,500. Said he's been doing it since he started working here a year ago. He admitted to $5,500. Yeah.
How many different occurrences are there since June?
I actually have it all for you.
Oh, okay.
I left my copy in there, and I don't want to keep going in and coming back out.
Yeah. Well, we have another officer with him now, so, you know.
Next time I have all this stuff printed for you. I just didn't know what exactly you guys needed. You said you need like a sworn statement for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can give you this. I don't know why I printed it out like that. But it has his date of hire. Estimated loss is $824. That's the proven amount. So on the 20th, the 22nd, the 24th. So on the 20th, he took $139 out at 3:35. On the then at 12:47, he took out $160. At 1:55, he took out $125. On 23rd at 10:23, he took out $160. On 24th at 11:51, he took out $240. So there was 5 incidents that we can account for within the last 30 days, which equals $824.
Okay. So for the 20th, since there's 3 different occurrences, what did he take it out of the same register all 3 times?
No, so the POS is like a register number. So at this time he took out a register 124. This time he took out a register 125, and at this time he took out a register 123.
Okay. And how often do you guys count the money in the drawers?
There's somebody that counts the money they don't count the money, they just remove the money out of the register, put it inside of the cash office, and the cash office attendant the next morning counts all the money that's in the register. But she wouldn't know how much money is supposed to be there. That's what that's kind of like what the bank in Target headquarters does. What she does is just accounts for the money that's being sent out, and then also just verifying there's no counterfeit bills that were accepted.
Okay, so she counts each drawer separately?
Yes.
Okay, so she just counts the money, and then somewhere down the line, Target headquarters or the bank determines that there's
to
this
say,
much
okay,
money
you
missing
guys
from
sold
this
this
day.
this much on this register. You accepted, let's say, $500 in cash, so we should have $500 in bills coming in, but you only have 240 bills that came in. And then that's when the Target headquarters looks into it, look at all the cash transactions, see each time the register was open, and that's how we got him on video going into the register, taking money out, and then put it in his pocket. So that's how you guys caught him, was Target headquarters, is kind of doing the checks and balances. Exactly. All right.
Hello.
Hi.
Has you been
Yeah, for the 351 you need a 94.
I don't have anything on me.
You should have patched down. Space the wall for me?
Yeah.
Gotta make sure you got nothing on here. Anything that's in a cloak or statement?
Nope.
79.
Your wallet?
Yeah, wallet, tobacco, cigarettes, lighter, keys, and this one.
So, before we do anything, just in case, I'm just going to read these. I
I am required to warn you before you make any statement that you have the following constitutional rights. You have the right to remain silent and not answer any questions.
Or at least just crack it.
Bravo 13. Show me
Any
contact.
statement you make must be
Yeah,
freely and
Bravo
voluntarily
13.
given. You have the right to the presence of representation of a lawyer before you make any statement and during any questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, you are entitled to the presence and representation of a court-appointed lawyer before you make any statement and during any questioning. If at any time during the interview you do not wish to answer any questions, you are privileged to remain silent. I can make no threats or promises to induce you to make a statement. This must be of your own free will. Any statement can be and will be used against you in the court of law. Do you have any questions? Does that all make sense to you?
Yes.
You want to talk to us?
There's nothing really to say. I mean,
Okay.
it's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious, like, what's going on, bro.
I'm just having a hard time with money.
Man, man, trust me, we all been there sometimes, man. So, can you explain what was going on in your head at the time of those instances?
That I wasn't going to get caught.
That you're not gonna get caught?
And I knew that eventually over time, it was going to build up, and I couldn't stop myself from doing it. And I wanted to, and I'm like, no, this is wrong.
Can you specifically tell me, like, what registers you used?
12, like today or in general?
Oh, you did it today too?
Well, yeah, but that was from just so it's such good that.
So this is from today?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was from the car.
So, all these instances were from guest services area?
No, some from guest service and from registers.
And so there's more.
Do you,
How many times have you done this in total?
I lost count.
That many times?
I mean, that's the amount, 5,000.
So you took $5,280.
That's the number that I could come up with. I couldn't, from what, from what the AP said, he said that sounds about the roughly amount that I took.
so you work today?
Yes.
Okay. What were your hours today?
10 to 4:30.
10 to 4:30. Okay. So at 4:30 when you went to clock out, like what happened?
No, I wasn't able to clock out because they pulled me in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you've just been here since?
Yeah.
Okay. So like today, do you remember like what time it was when
Like around 11:30, 12 when I took that.
So
Okay.
when these things services are happening, do you specifically work at those registers? Or
I'm just coming up to help with lines, or they'll call for backup and I'll help them with that. And then once the lines are clear, that's when I take the money.
Okay. And then, so you're never specifically tasked by your management to work any registers?
No, my main thing is carts, but I'm also cross-trained on guest service and drive up and also register. So when they say,
But
hey,
how many times would you say that you would actually be tasked to work register? Is that ever?
or do you
there
just,
were a few times, yes, that I was tasked to do
So
registers.
what would be a few times?
Like 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times, and you've been working how long here?
11, almost a year.
So you've been working here almost a year, and you've been tasked 3 or 4 times to work the registers.
Okay, let me start over. From when I started, I started off as guest service, and that was my task.
what
so I
does
would
guest
help.
services do?
Guest service is taking returns, taking out drive-up orders, and doing
But would you
exchanging.
be at the actual register on those guest services section?
Yes,
How long did you do that for?
for about, I'd say, 3 months.
Okay.
And then they switched it over to card attendant because that's what I was originally
So
hired
you've
for.
been working card attendant for approximately 8 months. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
So out of all the 8 months, out of those 8 months that you've been working card attendant, were you ever tasked to work the registers throughout that time at all?
Yeah. Yes.
Are those the front registers where people check out, or
Either
the
the
customer
front
service?
registers or guest
And
service.
how many times would that be? Like maybe a few times, you said?
Yeah, like 3 or 4
3 or
times.
4 times. So out of the 8 months, you only worked 3 to 4 times in the cash registers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously they spoke to you about a few dates in June. So on any of those days, were you working the registers or were you
I
doing
wasn't tasked to do it, but they were getting backed up on drive up, so I hopped on the desk to help cut out the line. And then the same with the registers. They were backed up, so I hopped on the registers to help clear the lines out.
So how would you log into the registry?
Through my device.
Through your device?
Yeah.
And
How
that
do you
device is strictly assigned to you?
Yeah.
Alright, and how do you log into that device?
With the store number, which is,
Okay,
and then you would put in your ID number,
and what would be your ID number?
76557914.
You got that, Fender?
Can you repeat the numbers one more time?
76557914.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then my PIN would be 561305.
Sorry, guys.
You said 561305?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Does that match up?
yeah. So how do you? So what? How do you log into the register using that?
I just, with the little, it has a little,
Like a scan?
yeah, and it just scans and then it locks you in.
And then it logs you in on the register.
Yeah.
You have to scan like the register barcode.
Yeah. Yeah, the register, yeah.
Okay. So walk me through like what you were doing when you would log into the registers.
I would just take my device and scan in, and then I would just, finish the line, whichever line was there, whether that be guest service or there, and then, I'd look, make sure no one was looking, and then I'd go in the drawer and take them out.
Does the drawer open automatically when you?
No, I would push, there was a side icon where you could open the drawer, and it brought down a drop down menu, you open the drawer, and that's how the drawer would open.
Okay, so you have to manually press buttons
Yes.
in order to open the drawer.
Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody, I guess, ever said anything to you about this before today?
No.
Okay.
No.
Alright.
So, I guess I'll show them. Just make sure. Hold on. Apparently, you can't make these bigger. Oh, wait,
I'm gonna get the phone out of them.
yeah.
How much money did you take today?
It's 140.
So, I mean, is this familiar to you?
Yeah.
Like this area?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What
you
can you describe to me like what area of the store this is?
That's guest service.
Guest services. Okay. So the person on the top there,
That's me.
that's you?
Yes.
Okay. What register? What register is that? Do you know?
I don't know if they're numbered.
Okay.
But yeah.
But that's you at a guest service
Yeah,
register.
clearly, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna die.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, enough.
All right. So did the store kind of explain to you that they were going to call us?
I kind of figured.
Okay.
I mean, it's obvious. It's over $1,000, which in law terms isn't that federal. I mean, can't that lead theft, or I don't know how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of know what's going to happen then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Is there any way I could use the bathroom before? I mean, there's a family restroom that I could use, or I can't.
Once we get you for a booking procedure, the bathroom.
Okay. Alright.
I don't know what this paper is.
Go ahead and let me come.
Just go and face the wall. Place your hands together like you're saying a prayer.
We should take a picture of that too.
Case number
Or a
is
copy.
10108.
Well, he needs to.
10,001.
No violence, just exploitation of trust. Charged with felony grand theft, the employee received 2 years of probation and 100 hours of community service. Fraud criminals document systemic flaws, one case at a time. Subscribe to see where the next scheme collapses.